What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you all had a great weekend. Getting into this episode of GH. This was a pretty good follow-up episode to Friday. Um, I'm so over this Sunny Carly mess. I really am. It just feels like every time they have a conversation, it gets nowhere. Like they don't go no further than what they were, like at all. Um, they just they don't make any like steps in their relationship. It just seems like instead of progressing, they regress even further. Um, Sonny, he really needs his pills right now because Sonny is tripping. You can see it, like he all wild in the eyes, and he seems like he's wound pretty tight. Um, like he just keeps telling Carly, "Oh, come home," and Carly let him know, like, why should she come home? Nothing's changed between them. He's still defending Nina. He still has feelings for another woman. She can't come home. If nothing's changed, what's the point of her coming home? And I get her. I totally get where she coming from. So of course Sonny talking about, oh, he gonna prove to her that he love her. He gonna show her. How you gonna do that? The only way you could show Carly that you love her is by holding Nina by her feet over a balcony. That's the only way at this point. Because that's what Carly waiting for. She waiting for Sonny to show up, the real Sonny with some revenge on his mind. That's what she wants. That's the Sonny she know. Jocelyn was basically telling Carly, like, if she's so unhappy in this marriage, at this point she need to file for divorce. I mean, it's easier said than done because filing for divorce, that's something you really got to take your time to think about. That's not something that you want to rush into. But seeing as how it's daytime, I could see her getting a divorce at this point because her and Sonny are just not what they were. And in my opinion, they really wasn't that for a long time. Um, I'm ready for them to move on from this marriage. I mean, I would hate to see another Sonny Carly divorce because Lord knows we don't want to sit through that again. But at this point, I get it. They may need to just move away from each other and do their own thing. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, I love the scene with Jennifer and Laura, and I love how they were, rehashing the past and stuff like that to Spencer, because Spencer ain't have no idea who the hell Jennifer was. I live for Jennifer Smith. That is one troublesome ass woman, and that's what Port Charles needs, some trouble. I mean, we got plenty of trouble, but she's the icing on the cake to that trouble, and I like it. Um, Basically, Laura was telling Jennifer that she need to move on. The only way to get closure is by opening up a new chapter. I knew her ass had an ulterior motive for coming back to Port Charles, and I knew it wasn't fully about no Luke. I knew that. Because Sonny came up in there, and when he saw her, Sonny was not impressed to see her. He was not enthused. He was like, listen, take your ass back to where you came from. He was like, because I don't need no distractions from you right about now. I ain't mad at Sonny. Sonny was like, listen, just leave. She's sitting there trying to lay it on thick about how proud she is, how proud her father would be to see that the Wu organization and the Corinthos organization are the surviving two families in Port Charles. She really came down there fishing for information because that threat Sonny was talking about, that what's the name was trying to tell him about, Cyrus and Brick, that threat, Jennifer is a part of that threat. So she definitely was calling somebody on the phone telling them, oh, Sonny's not interested in expanding to the West Coast so we could continue on with our plans for the West Coast. I was like, I wonder who she working with. Like, who done teamed up with that nut job? You know? But I love it though. Wicked women like Jennifer rule the world. I love it, especially in the daytime, area. I love it. Her being back, she about to raise some hell. I can't wait to see her and Sonny go toe to toe. And I wonder if Carly gonna get involved in it. Um, Jennifer, like, she is a sicko, but she ain't nothing to play with. Like, you can't underestimate Jennifer. And I'm glad that Laura noticed that Sonny was wound too tight. Laura definitely noticed how Sonny was acting, and she even asked him, like, "Are you good? You all right?" He was like, "I'm fine." No, you are not fine. You need to get your ass on your pills because you are not fine. A lot of people are starting to notice that he's acting out. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, I love how Laura basically reassures Spencer that, even though she's tough on him, she still love him and stuff like that. But Spencer's a young man. It's like at the end of the day, he's a young, confused man. He's been through some things with that family, with the Cassadine stories that he's heard, things he saw. So he's gonna test the boundaries. He's gonna show out. That's what he's gonna do. So as long as he still got Laura in his corner, pushing him and trying to get him on the straight and narrow, they're good. They are good. You know what I mean? At some point he gonna hit rock bottom maybe, but he'll find out what kind of Cassadine he wants to be. So anyway, moving on from that, Curtis decided to give his father a chance. He figured, I ain't gonna demand answers from you no more. I just want to get to know you. You know what I mean? His father was happy about that and stuff. But I feel like Curtis could be playing him. Trying to get him to drop his guard. Because that's the only way to really get answers from somebody. Because if you keep asking them for answers, they're going to keep tightening up on you every time they see you. But once they drop their guard with you and you get, start drinking with them and they let loose a little bit, they're going to say something that you can use to figure out what they're up to. They're going to drop some type of clue, some type of hint, something. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's what Curtis is doing. I mean, I think it's partly him really wanting to get to know his father, but hopefully another part of him is trying to sneakily get answers, which I think would be smart on his part. So his father, Marshall, was basically warning him that people are always going to try to come for his club and, do whatever, like unsavory people. And here comes Sonny, stumbling into the bar, coming up in there, telling Curtis he want his club. Sonny need to get on his pills. He need to get on the meds because he wilding. Like, he talking about, I want your club. Sir, the club ain't for sale. And Curtis is definitely not trying to sell it to him. Or to anybody for that matter. Sonny they need to get him some help. Dante, somebody, get that man some help because he wild. I cannot wait to see Sonny go off, though, because I seen the preview and he gonna go off on Drew and Curtis. Like, they need to do something with him. They need to. Now is not the time for him to be bipolar. Like, he gonna forever be bipolar, but you know what I mean. Like, now is not the time for him to be going on these manic episodes. Like, you got too much going on. Your marriage is crumbling. You got enemies circling the wagon right about now. This is not the time. He needs to be focused. Like, he needs to be sharp. And he's not those things right now. Sonny need to get that shit together. So anyway, moving on from that, I love the scenes with Ned, Olivia, and Leo. Like, they were explaining to him that they were doing a vow renewal at the mansion and how Ned was going to go ahead with the adoption, and adopt him. I felt bad for Ned when Leo basically told him, like, you're not my real father. I felt bad for him, but I like the way Ned handled it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, reassuring him, like, listen, Julian will always be your biological dad, but I want to be the dad that raised you. You know what I'm saying? I love how he explained that to him. You know what I'm saying? And how comforting Olivia was to him, letting him know that, she finally sees him for who he was, but she was afraid to in the beginning. I love the talks that they had with him, just reassuring him. I think that was pretty dope. Anyway, moving on from that. Britt should not be talking to Austin about Maxie. She really should. Because she let some stuff slip a little bit, like about, oh, if he hadn't have been there to give, to deliver the baby, then she would have been there or something like that. I'm like, Britt, stop talking. Because now look at Austin. He's sitting there confused about what she said. I'm like, stop talking, madam. Stop talking. Thank you. Because you're going to let certain things slip that don't need to be slipped. I'm just saying. At this point, I'm ready for this whole thing to come out. I'm ready for the whole secret to come out. Because more and more people are finding out about it. Valentine was sitting with Victor and stuff, and he still got the sonogram. That, from when he thought BLQ was pregnant with Bailey. He still got that sonogram. And it's so funny how Victor knows Valentine is basically playing him, trying to spend time with him just to get information for Anna and stuff. He already know. He ain't stupid. Victor is far from dumb. But he's just happy to spend time with Valentine because he was like, for whatever reason, he needs the Cassadines united. He talking about for what comes next. My question is, what is coming next? Because he's been hinting at this ever since he came back to town. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what's this threat coming up after the Cassadines? So anyway, after Valentine left or whatever, Maxie comes in and bumps into Victor, and her purse done fell over and the damn sonogram fell out. And I'm pretty sure it's the same sonogram that Valentine has. So it's not going to take much for Victor to put two and two together. I think even if she comes up with a good cover story, it's not going to take much for him to think and be like, she lying. These look similar. Why does she have it? He's going to be asking a lot of questions. And that's the last thing you want is for Victor to know that secret. especially seeing as how he's so close to Peter and stuff. You don't want him to know that, you know. That's why at this point I felt like Maxie should have been telling law enforcement, you know, the law enforcement that's in her family, the truth, so that way her child could be better protected. And I also feel like BLQ, if she was smart, should have definitely took Tracy's offer to take that baby to Amsterdam. Like, I'm just saying, get that child far away from Port Charles as humanly possible. I understand why she didn't, because, you know, she want Maxie to be able to see the kid, but it's too risky if y'all want this plan to continue. It's way too risky. More and more people are finding out, and not people that you want to find out. Maxie was tripping when she went over to Jax's place that BLQ and Chase is staying at. She was over there tripping, like talking about, oh, I came for my daughter. Then gonna snap at BLQ talking about some, oh, don't tell me what my child need or whatever. Like, just snapping at her. I'm like, calm your ass down. They trying to help you and you flipping. Um, she was upset because basically she doesn't have a bond with Louise. You know, BLQ has a better bond. That's expected. I mean, BLQ's been the only mother so far that little girl has known. So, of course, she's bonded with her. So, of course, Maxie was hurt by that. But I'm like, this is part of the reason why this truth need to come out so you can bond with your child. You know, luckily for her, the baby is still a baby. You know what I'm saying? She got plenty of time to bond with her, you know. But this truth need to come out at this point. Like, she really need to let it out. And BLQ need to start letting Chase know what's on her mind, because she be flipping out on Chase and he has no idea why she's upset with him. Like, she has no clue. And then when he asks her for an explanation, because every time they start to get close, she keeps remembering him talking junk about her to Dante. So that's when she shuts down on him and he wants to know, like, what's going on with her. But she keeps shutting down, talking about she don't want to talk about it or whatever. See, you, if you ain't got communication in a relationship or friendship, that's when things go straight to hell. Communicate. If she communicates with him, he could clarify some things for her and they could finally get on the right path of being a couple instead of playing these little games. You know what I mean? Like, open up your mouth and tell that man how you feel. Shit, we ain't got time for games. Y'all grown. So anyway, I thought it was nice of Ned, you know, to try to rectify the situation with Austin and invite him to the vow renewal and stuff. But you know, Austin was like, "No, I got plans. Like, he not interested or whatnot." Um, so Britt wanted to know why Austin was so like interested or invested in Leo's autism case. I said, well, shit, maybe he got it. Maybe he on the spectrum. That's why he can relate and he knows like the signs and everything to it. Maybe, you know, or he dealt with patients who are on the spectrum. You never know. Um, I think that's probably why he feels a closeness to Leo at this point with this autism. Maybe he got it, or maybe somebody he knows has it, or a case that he worked on. It could be any one of those factors. Um, but anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought. I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.